Stop at the white car that your real first come on. There's a baby in there.
Grant County law enforcement searching for a stolen car today with a baby inside. Good evening and thank you for joining us here on KREM 2 News at 5. I'm Whitney Ward. Mark is off tonight. We do begin with breaking news out of Grant County. A car stolen in the small town of Walden with a baby in the back seat. Authorities say the 2-month-old child was in the back seat in the front of a home on Main Street in Walden. The female suspect managed to steal the car, then drove off toward Moses Lake. The woman caring for the child had been right next to the car, then immediately ran to the nearby police station. Officers started tracking the suspect right away. During that time, 911 calls started coming in, also about a possible drunk driver. Turns out that car matched the same description. It was weaving all over the road, and I'm told the woman suspect drove about 15 miles on back roads in Grant County before a sheriff's deputy found the car stopped in the middle of Road 3 Northeast. That's where the suspect was initially taken into custody and placed in the backseat of a Walden police car. However, somehow she was able to get into the front seat of the police car and then drove off. I'm told the woman drove about another half mile or so before authorities used their patrol cars to bring her to a crashing stop. Through it all, the baby was unharmed and is now back home safe. Today, officers at the Grant County Sheriff's Office told me this easily could have ended tragically.
Well, we're thrilled it came to the conclusion that it did. We can have our patrol cars damaged, that's fine. Our main objective was to get our hands on that child and get that child back to their family. And while we were waiting to get our hands on that child, that the suspect didn't harm the child either by hand or by crashing the vehicle.
I have to ask, what the heck happened that allowed her to get from the back seat of the police car into the front seat of the police car?
So that will be the point of probably an internal investigation by the Warden Police Department. But after discussing this, there's only one reason that could happen, is that the partition between the front seat and the back seat was not properly fastened.
Right now, the woman is at the Grant County Jail. She has been medically cleared. She is facing multiple felony charges tonight, including kidnapping, auto theft, DUI, and more. A decision was made today about the detention of a 12-year-old student police say brought a gun to his middle school yesterday. KREM 2's Christian Garza was at the detention hearing and brings us the latest. Christian?
Yeah, well, this hearing lasted all of 10 minutes long. Now, the 12-year-old student did not appear before Judge Jeremy Schmidt because of an agreed upon order between the prosecuting and defense attorneys. Now, at this time, the student will go through inpatient psychiatric treatment for the safety of the community while being monitored electronically. This was all a ruling from Judge Schmidt that says that this student will be detained until further court order. After the psychiatric treatment, if he's deemed safe, he will be able to go home while still being detained using the electronic monitor. Now, if he's deemed not safe, he will come back to the juvenile detention center. So if he were to be able to go home, Judge Schmidt says that no weapons would be allowed to be inside of that home and he would be unable to leave without his parents. This is all after police say the student brought a gun to Shaw Middle School yesterday. According to the affidavit of facts, multiple students became aware of the gun in the student's backpack after he was showing it off. Now, he reportedly told students that he was holding it for somebody. Witnesses say that this student even went as far as threatening the life of one of the witnesses, saying, quote, "If you snitch, I will pop you in your head the next time I see you." After someone reported the gun to a teacher, police responded and the student ran from campus but was arrested a short distance away. Documents say that officers found a .45 caliber handgun inside of that student's bag. He was taken to the Spokane County Juvenile Facility and faces unlawful possession of a firearm, second-degree charges. This student's arraignment has been set for the 23rd of October at 11 a.m. Christian Garza, KREM 2 News.
Christian, thank you. Taking a look at weather now. The rain was back today after some very dry months. Our chief meteorologist, Jeremy Lagudo, standing by to let us know what we can expect for tonight and, of course, tomorrow as well.
Well, when it comes to the overall pattern, we just get a big shift toward more wet days. It's a big change, and it's all unfolding before our eyes. Temperatures sit at 57 degrees right now. We did make it a little bit warmer earlier today before the second round of rain moved in, but all in all, not a bad day. Look at the cooler temperatures in Sandpoint and Coeur d'Alene. That's thanks to that round of rain moving through. Coeur d'Alene, you are just about on the backside. Similar story there in Sandpoint, but here you go. Temperatures are quite a bit cooler now than they were 24 hours ago. Spokane and Deer Park more than 10 degrees colder. Coeur d'Alene and Sandpoint almost 20 degrees colder than this time yesterday. There's that band of showers. Notice it is still working its way into, I would say, the far eastern side of Coeur d'Alene and Hayden Lake. It is dropping some heavy rain and giving you a little bit of thunder and lightning. You move off to the north, steady showers coming down in Sandpoint. Down to the south, it's a similar story. Some good heavy rain coming down across the Palouse. We need it. It's good. This is a great thing. All of this rain works its way out tonight. We hang on to a few scattered showers to start the day tomorrow. Not overly widespread, but a couple of scattered showers kicks off today. Tomorrow afternoon, we'll see a little bit of light snow over Lookout Pass with temperatures staying in the mid-50s.
Jeremy, thank you. Idaho's longest serving death row inmate is headed to the execution table now for a second time. Today, Thomas Creech was issued a new death warrant. His execution now set for November 13th. Creech has been on death row for almost half a century. He was convicted of 5 murders in 3 different states. The new warrant comes one day after the Idaho Department of Corrections announced it has updated protocol for executions, including the ability to use a central line IV if a standard IV cannot be established. Creech was originally scheduled to be executed in February. However, the execution was unsuccessful because IDOC medical staff couldn't establish an IV line. The Federal Defender Services of Idaho today released a statement responding to the news, saying in part they are heartbroken and angered that the state would try to execute Creech again using a similar process and team before conducting an official review of what led to the failed execution. Our Boise sister station did talk with the granddaughter of one of Creech's victims today, who says the warrant is good news and she's ready for the execution to be over, adding that every time it's drawn out, it adds a little more pain to the situation.